No chance that Kamala Harris is going on Joe Rogan after her disastrous interview on Fox News.
The reality is she's just now doing this. I told the former congressman, if I were advising the vice president, I would not have advised this unless my internals suggested that I was in trouble. You're looking to appeal to, I assume, some maybe moderate-leaning Republicans, maybe some Republicans who aren't necessarily tied to the former president. I don't think she persuaded them, Aaron, to vote for her in this debate. Her answers on immigration, she said, well, Donald Trump tanked the bill. Let's say you believe that. And Bret Baier said, but what about the first 2 years, where in the first 2 years you had the highest crossings of illegal crossings into the country? And then she said, but Donald Trump. She didn't answer. He then asked her, well, what about your position on supporting taxpayer dollars for gender transitions for those detained, migrants that is? She said, well, Donald Trump had a similar law when he was president. Bret said, okay, that's fair, Madam Vice President, but it didn't occur under the Trump administration. What about your position? She didn't answer it. There were a lot of unanswered questions.
Yes, this is just a normal interview that Trump has been taking throughout the year. I don't know why this is news. Democrats are freaking out like never before. This is what one posted on Twitter recently. Kamala Harris handed an ambush Fox News interview like, yes, better than the harsh Donald Trump unstable made of the Fox News prep rally discussed as a town hall. A lot of people have said replying this guy, they had to laugh him all through. Ambush. That was just a regular interview. You are used to CBS at 60 Minutes editing her on ABC News feeding her question. Sorry, your candidate has a lower IQ than those who are medically diagnosed as mentally handicapped. I don't want to go much into that. That is just someone replying to this Democrat, putting this out like this was an ambush. I don't get the point here. The real interviews that I want to see Kamala like Bloomberg.
Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
No answer for why Biden and Harris threw out Donald Trump's executive orders and changed everything, and then a flood of people came in. An ounce of humility here would go a long way, and she doesn't have it in her to do it, and she has no real answer other than to blame Congress. And Bret was right. Democrats controlled everything when they took over. And so is she saying it's the Democrats' fault that the immigration system is broken? I don't understand this. I don't understand why she can't just say, hindsight here, we shouldn't have done it. I think the American people would actually accept it, but she won't do it.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these.
Yes, they came late. 4 people ended the interview halfway because they realized it was not going the way they intended. I don't get it. This was actually tough for Harris.
But in terms of persuading conservatives or Republican-minded voters, I'm just not convinced she did it.
Lulu, what do you think the point of it was, though? I mean, is it perhaps that she wasn't trying to persuade any voters, that she's looking for clips of this to go around and energize voters she already has to show up?
I was about to say, hello, my friends. I disagree with both of you because I hate to break up such a lovely bromance. But what happened here is as follows. She went into hostile territory, and in our media environment, it's a Rorschach test. And so everyone's going to take from this what they want. There were very strong moments that she had, specifically on defending democracy and on the statements that Donald Trump has made. And that is going to be clipped, and that's going to be sent around. And people who are persuadable will look at that and say, she did well. And there are going to be clips on her responses on immigration, and people who are persuadable and think that immigration is a serious issue are going to look at that and think she did poorly. And that is the environment in which we live. But I do agree that this is a very good thing for her to do, because at this point, she needs to go on as many places as she can, and she needs to get everyone talking about her, because there are no big moments anymore. There are no debates. There are no big events. This is it. And so she needs to go fight for every vote.
Well, there were a lot of bad moments in this interview.
All right. So
It's like this lady is not understanding anything. There are a lot of bad moments during this interview. If she is not careful, her poll numbers will go down. I'm telling you the truth. She blundered off. There are questions that I really wish she could tackle in such a way that to convince people. That is what I expected to see. Because appearing on Fox News shows she was courageous, which I appreciate that fact. But the way she blundered off answering certain questions, she was angry. That is how I can say it. She came in with anger. Why should you be doing this? Be normal, answer question. People will see that.
I think this strategy from Harris was a Google strategy. She wanted Fox viewers to start to Google some of the things she was saying, because some of the comments she was making in this interview are foreign to the Fox audience. For example, General Mark Milley saying Trump is a fascist to the core. That's barely been covered on Fox News. So she was able to get some of those talking points in. This was the most adversarial interview Kamala Harris has probably ever done. Instead of getting to debate Trump again, she got to debate Bret Baier. And a lot of viewers are going to come away saying, wow, she's willing to do that. That's a sign of toughness and strength.
I don't know if this man actually watched the same interview that we watched. That it was a good strategy. It was a good strategy to appear on Fox News, yes. But the fact matter, you need to calculate, you need to think before going. Put a lot of things together. Be able to showcase yourself. All what Kamala did here was to attack Trump here and there.
No chance that Kamala Harris is going on Joe Rogan after her disastrous interview on Fox News with Bret Baier. So bad that Kamala's campaign and all her little interns and everybody she's got around her told her to cut it off. They cut it off like 30 minutes early. It was only 30 minutes long.
I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop.
I got to give Bret Baier some kudos, man. He went after her about a lot of stuff. He went after her about transgenders getting sex change surgery in prison and whether or not she would have taxpayer funds fund that. She refused to answer. She only diverted back to Trump. She's like, I would, but Trump would, just like Trump would follow the law. I would follow. She wants to be Trump so fucking bad. Then he played a clip of a mother whose daughter was murdered by an illegal immigrant and blames the Harris-Biden administration for that happening.
Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
Do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying?
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about
Trump.
What is happening right now.
She wants to talk about Trump.
An individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Kept trying to divert back to Trump to a point to where Bret was like, listen, the American people want to know more about you. And then she was like, well, Trump's on the ballot. We need it. He's like, but the interview was about you. Then she got really mad and she started screaming about Trump and how he's going to turn the American government against the American citizen. And Bret fact-checked her and he's like, listen, this is what Trump has said.
Today, Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Bret, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you...
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times. And
when you look at Kamala, she's angry. That is just to tell you that when you challenge her with real hard questions with proof, she's not happy about it. This is just Trump responding to what she said. She's now refusing. Okay, they want to go back and pick up all short clips, right? Maher is still having the guts to say this.
It's 25 days before the election, and I got to say, it's not looking that great for the Democrats. I mean, this is not a good sign. You know, when you have an African-American candidate, you probably shouldn't be having to shore up your support among black men, but that's whhat's going on. Tim Walz.
Look at what Democrats are experiencing.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa.
You know, Whoopi, you always say you don't believe in polls. I'm with you now because I'm reading the press. First it was Kamala's not doing enough press. Then she goes on this huge press tour. She was here with us. I thought she was fantastic. She was energetic. The crowd went wild. It was electric. CNN, Democrats grow anxious. Axios, blue wall blues. Fox, Dems are scared to death. No, Dems are not scared to death.
Is it a good endorsement? What exactly, please? I want you to know. Drop under the comment section.
Trump's running mate. Same reason you don't throw a birthday party for Diddy.
Hey, you're calling yourself.
Well, this is a problem.
Holmes Enterprise. If you are over 18, please register to vote for something else.
Are now stepping forward.
Seen before.
Trump.
I don't care if they write that. No, it was right, and you got.
I'm going to shake it off.
It's like 73% said they're voting for Trump.
Okay, yeah.
You hired me 4 times. I tell him, I'm like, I'll just. How dumb are you?